It's not a cinematic book at all or story. It was just something that I knew if there was a way to reach people and sort of open a dialogue to talk about these issues and this sort of exiting adolescence and what you're faced with and all these questions that you sort of get faced with when you're 19, 20 and all the challenges you're up against. If we could bring that, it would be a great thing for young people. I grew up listening to The Replacements and Soul Asylum and Husker Du and all those great bands, and so that's kind of, I'm hoping that this will be a alternative label for bands, an alternative for bands to come to if they don't want to sign with the major labels. This is a totally independent label. There's absolutely no other financiers that have come in. It's totally independently funded, so there's nobody that would come in and control anything. The artist would have complete control over everything. I started this whole thing because the years that I spent with Dave Pirner, watching, I saw a lot of what goes on in the music business and how much bands get screwed by major labels. So I kind of started this as a tribute to all the musicians I've met over the years that need homes because they've been so screwed by what's happened in the music business with all the big corporations. So this is sort of like the home for wayward musicians. I used to see a lot of punk rock shows in San Francisco, like at the Mabuhay Gardens. I used to go with my dad sometimes, and I saw like the Dead Kennedys and Black Flag and all those bands. And I did apparently, I don't remember, but I was at the last Sex Pistols concert in San Francisco, the famous one where he says, "If you ever feel like you've been cheated." But I don't remember being there, but my dad says that we were there. Because we lived in the city, so, and my dad was friends with all the people who own the club, so. I'm a Wilco girl. I still listen to Wilco's actually in the movie, in Girl Interrupted, and we're actually going to be doing a video for the movie. For the song that's in the movie, How to Fight Loneliness. And I think Summer Teeth is one of the best albums of the last decade. It's really, truly brilliant there. Jeff Tweedy is, hands down one of my favorite singers of all time. My first rock star crush. Oh God, it was Paul. It was Paul Westerberg. My whole teenage years was like, Westerberg High and Heathers, we named the school after him. All my teenage years were spent pining over Paul Westerberg. I've been linked to an awful lot of people I've never even met before, especially actually guys in bands, because I'll go see a band, and then because I was seen at the concert, people will say that they'll link me to the person, which is so ridiculous. It happens to, as you probably know, every girl that goes. You can't be a girl and a fan without being called a groupie. I'm really nervous about getting ripped off and stuff, and people coming in and apparently you can, if you buy anything, people can watch you and get your credit card number. I'm too scared. I'm too paranoid. I feel like people will find out too much of my business.